Kang Wu stood at the entrance of the biggest building he had ever seen. The Galactic Council chamber stretched up so high that clouds formed near the ceiling. His hands shook as he held his papers. He was the first human to ever stand here. The doors opened with a sound like thunder. Inside, 47 chairs sat in a perfect circle. Each chair was different, made for different types of beings. Some were tall for giants, some were small for tiny creatures, some had water tanks for fish-like aliens. Each chair had a glowing sign that showed which planet and species it belonged to, but one chair was empty. Kang Wu walked slowly into the center of the circle. His footsteps echoed in the huge room. The empty chair was made of black stone that shined like a mirror. A small metal plate on the chair read, Terra, Species, Human, Status, Restricted. 46 pairs of eyes watched him. Some eyes were red, some were yellow, some were not eyes at all, but glowing spots or moving tentacles. Kang Wu had trained for this moment for 5 years, but nothing could have prepared him for this silence. The being in the biggest chair spoke first. It looked like a giant bug with wings. Its voice buzzed like a machine. "State your business, human." Kang Wu cleared his throat. "Honorable council members, I am Kang Wu from the United Earth Government. Our planet was recently discovered by your scout ships. I come here to ask for our seat in this council." The silence that followed was so complete that Kang Wu could hear his own heartbeat. Then, all at once, the aliens began talking in their own languages. The sounds mixed together, clicking, buzzing, whistling, and roaring. It sounded like a zoo at feeding time. A blue creature with 8 arms raised one tentacle for silence. "This is impossible. The restricted accords clearly forbid any contact with humans." "What restricted accords?" Kang Wu asked. This was not in any of his briefing materials. More silence. The aliens looked at each other with what Kang Wu thought might be fear. A small gray being with big black eyes finally spoke. "Young human, your species has been known to us for a very long time." Kang Wu felt confused. "But your scouts just found Earth 20 years ago. That was first contact." "No," said the gray alien. "That was when we decided to break the silence. We have watched your world for thousands of years. That empty chair has been waiting here for 3,000 years. The giant bug creature clicked its mandibles nervously. "The chair is not an invitation. It is a warning." "A warning about what?" Kang Wu's voice was getting louder. He had come here thinking humans were new to the galaxy. Now he was learning they had been watched like animals in a zoo. A creature that looked like a walking tree rustled its leaves. "There was an incident, long ago, before our time, but recorded in our histories. Humans were part of the galactic community once." "What happened?" Kang Wu demanded. The tree being's leaves turned dark. "Something terrible. Something that made the entire galaxy agree that humans must never be allowed to travel the stars again." "That's impossible," Kang Wu said. "Humans are peaceful. We want to learn and share knowledge. We want to help solve problems." At the word "problems," several aliens made sounds of distress. The blue creature with 8 arms turned pale. "That is exactly what we fear." An alien that looked like a living crystal chimed in with a voice like breaking glass. "Your species has a gift, human. A gift that nearly destroyed everything." "What gift?" Kang Wu felt like he was in a bad dream. "You make impossible things possible," the crystal being said. "You take ideas that should stay as ideas and make them real. You break the rules of the universe just by thinking too hard about them." Kang Wu laughed, but it sounded hollow in the huge room. "That's crazy. Humans are just humans. We're not magic." "No," said the gray alien sadly. "You are much more dangerous than magic. Magic follows rules. You rewrite the rules." The giant bug stood up from its chair. Each of its movements was slow and careful. The last time humans tried to help the galaxy, they almost unmade reality itself. That empty chair reminds us of the price of forgetting that lesson. I don't understand, Kang Wu said. What did humans do that was so terrible? They tried to fix the universe, the tree being whispered, and they almost succeeded. The crystal alien chimed again. There are files, records locked away in the deepest archives. But those records are sealed under the restricted accords. No one has read them for centuries. Then unseal them, Kang Wu said. Let me see these records. Let me understand what you're so afraid of. Absolutely not, the bug creature buzzed. Some knowledge is too dangerous to share. Kang Wu looked around the circle at all the alien faces. Fear. That's what he saw in every one of them. They were not afraid of human weapons or human armies. They were afraid of human ideas. I am not leaving, Kang Wu said quietly. My people sent me here to claim our place among the stars. I will not return and tell them we are banned for crimes we don't remember committing. The blue alien with 8 arms spoke carefully. Young human, your presence here has already triggered. Old warning systems. The council must vote on what to do with you. What are my choices? Kang Wu asked. Return to Earth and never contact us again, the crystal being chimed. Or stay here and learn the truth about why that chair remains empty. Kang Wu looked at the black stone chair. His chair, his people's chair, empty for 3,000 years. I choose the truth, he said. The aliens looked at each other with what he was now sure was terror. The gray alien spoke for all of them. Then may the universe forgive us for what we must show you. 3 days passed before Kang Wu saw another human face. The council had given him a small room in the guest quarters, but he felt more like a prisoner than a visitor. Guards stood outside his door at all times. They were polite but firm when he asked to leave. On the 4th day, a woman knocked on his door. She was human, with short black hair and tired eyes. She wore the blue uniform of a galactic researcher. My name is Park Hana, she said quietly. I study old civilizations for the council. I heard about what happened in the chamber. Kang Wu stared at her. You're human. How long have you been here? 15 years, she said. I was found on a research ship that drifted too far from Earth. The council decided I could be useful, so they kept me. Kept you? Kang Wu felt angry. Like a pet? Park Hana smiled sadly. Something like that. But I learned things. Things about our people that you need to know. She looked around nervously. We need to talk somewhere private. The walls have ears here. That night, Park Hana came back. She had tools with her that looked like small metal insects. She released them into the room, and they flew around making tiny beeping sounds. Scanner bugs, she explained. They will block any listening devices for about an hour. After that, we need to be somewhere else. Where can we go? Kang Wu asked. The old archives, deep underground. There are places down there that even the council has forgotten about. They waited until the middle of the night cycle, when the building was quiet. Park Hana led him through hallways that seemed to go on forever. She had a small device that opened locked doors with a soft click. How do you know about all this? Kang Wu whispered. I've had 15 years to explore, she whispered back. And I'm very good at finding things that people want to hide. They took an elevator that went down for so long that Kang Wu's ears popped from the pressure change. When the doors opened, they stepped into a tunnel carved from solid rock. Old lights flickered on as they walked, triggered by their movement. The restricted archives are older than the current council, Park Hana explained. They were built by the first galactic government over 10,000 years ago. Most of the current council members don't even know they exist. The tunnel opened into a vast underground chamber filled with glowing data crystals. Each crystal was the size of a person and hummed with stored information. Thousands of them filled the space like a crystal forest. Park Hana led him to a section marked with symbols he couldn't read. "Human files," she said. "Everything the galaxy knows about our species. It took me 3 years to crack the security codes." She touched a crystal, and it began to glow brighter. Images appeared in the air above it like a hologram. Kang Wu gasped. The images showed Earth, but not the Earth he knew. This Earth had cities that floated in the sky, ships that moved between the stars like birds, humans working alongside aliens in laboratories and workshops. "This is from 50,000 years ago," Park Hana said. "Humans were part of the galactic community for thousands of years. We were welcomed. We were friends." "What happened?" Kang Wu asked, though he wasn't sure he wanted to know. Park Hana touched another crystal. New images appeared. These showed documents and reports. The text was in different alien languages, but a translator device made the words readable. "Project Prometheus," Kang Wu read aloud. "What is that?" "A human research project. Look at the dates. This report is from right before humans disappeared from galactic records." The report was written by someone called Director Chen of the Galactic Science Institute. Kang Wu read the words with growing horror. Human scientists have begun what they call conceptual engineering. They claim they can make theoretical ideas into physical reality. This should be impossible according to all known laws of physics. However, preliminary results suggest they are succeeding. Park Hana pointed to another section. "Keep reading. The human team led by Dr. Li Tae has demonstrated the ability to alter local space-time by treating universal constants as variables rather than fixed laws. They appear to believe that reality is more flexible than previously thought. This research must be stopped immediately before it destabilizes the galactic structure." Kang Wu looked at Park Hana. "This can't be real. Humans can't change the laws of physics just by thinking about them." "Can't they?" Park Hana touched another crystal. This time, actual video footage appeared. It showed a laboratory on Earth. A human man in a white coat was writing mathematical equations in the air with his finger. As he wrote, the equations glowed and became solid, floating in space like real objects. "That's Li Tae," Park Hana said. "Watch what happens next." In the video, Li Tae finished his equation and stepped back. The glowing numbers and symbols began to spin faster and faster. Then space around them began to bend. The walls of the laboratory stretched like rubber. Other humans in the lab were taking measurements and making notes as if this was completely normal. "They're treating the speed of light like a suggestion," Park Hana whispered. "Look at the energy readings. They're creating more power than should be possible in that small space." The video continued. Li Tae wrote another equation. This time, a small tear appeared in the air. Through the tear, they could see stars and nebulae that were clearly not visible from Earth. "A portal to another part of the galaxy," Kang Wu breathed. "They made a portal just by writing math in the air." "It gets worse," Park Hana said. She touched a different crystal. The new footage showed a different laboratory. A human woman was working with what looked like a small black hole, but it was completely stable and under control. "Kim Sola," Park Hana said. "She figured out how to make safe black holes. Then she figured out how to use them as unlimited energy sources. Then she figured out how to use them to create new types of matter that shouldn't exist." Kang Wu sat down heavily on the floor. "This is impossible. Humans are just humans. We're not gods." "Aren't we?" Park Hana asked quietly. "Think about it. What makes humans different from every other species in the galaxy?" "I don't know. We don't accept limits," she said. "Every other species in the galaxy learns the rules of the universe and follows them. They discover laws of physics and respect them. But humans, we see a law of physics, and our first thought is, how can we get around this?" She pulled up more files. "Look at these reports from alien scientists who worked with humans. They all say the same thing. Humans approach problems differently. Where other species see impossible barriers, Humans see interesting puzzles. But surely that's a good thing, Kang Wu said. Park Hana's expression grew dark. Not when the puzzle you're trying to solve is reality itself. She touched one more crystal. This one showed a report titled, The Soul Incident, Final Assessment. This is it, she said. This is what made the galaxy decide that humans were too dangerous to exist freely. Are you ready to learn what your people did that terrified an entire galaxy? Kang Wu looked at the glowing crystal. Part of him wanted to run back to his room and pretend none of this was real. But he had come too far to turn back now. Show me, he said. Park Hana activated the crystal, and the chamber, filled with light as the most classified secret in galactic history, began to unfold before their eyes. The crystal showed them a recording from 5,000 years ago. The image was clear, as if it had been made yesterday. A huge city stretched across the screen, with buildings that reached into the clouds and flying vehicles moving between them like birds. But this was not just any city. Kang Wu recognized the mountains in the background. Seoul, he whispered. But Seoul doesn't look like this. It did once, Park Hana said sadly. This was recorded just before the incident. The scene changed to show the inside of a massive laboratory. Hundreds of humans and aliens worked together at strange machines. The air itself seemed to glow with energy. In the center of it all stood two people, a man and a woman in white coats. Park Jin and Kim Sola, Park Hana explained. The best scientists of their time. They were trying to solve the galaxy's energy crisis. The recording had sound. They could hear Park Jin talking to a group of alien scientists. His voice was excited like a child showing off a new toy. The problem is that everyone thinks the laws of physics are fixed, Park Jin was saying. But they're not laws. They're just habits. The universe has gotten into certain habits over billions of years. We can teach it new habits. A tall alien with green skin asked, "What do you mean by new habits?" Kim Sola stepped forward. She was younger than Park Jin, with bright eyes and a confident smile. "Watch this," she said. She picked up a small metal ball and held it in her palm. "The universe says this ball should fall when I let go. But what if I politely ask it not? 2? She whispered something to the ball and opened her hand. The ball floated in the air, spinning slowly. The alien scientists made sounds of amazement, but one of them, a creature that looked like a walking crystal, made a sound of concern. "Dr. Kim, how are you doing this? What energy source are you using?" "That's the beautiful part," Kim Sola said, grinning. "I'm not using energy. I'm using intention. I'm having a conversation with reality itself." The crystal being took several steps backward. "This is dangerous. You are tampering with fundamental forces." Park Jin laughed. "Everything seems dangerous until you understand it. We're not breaking anything. We're just asking the universe to be more flexible." The scene changed to show what happened next. Kim, Sola, and Park Jin had built a machine that looked like a giant ring made of pure light. Alien officials from across the galaxy had come to watch the demonstration. "Ladies and gentlemen," Park Jin announced, "today we will solve the energy crisis forever. We will create a pocket of space where the laws of thermodynamics work more efficiently." "Is that safe?" asked an alien that looked like a giant sea creature. "Completely." "Safe," Kim Sola assured him. "We're only changing the rules in a very small area, just big enough to create unlimited clean energy." They activated their machine. The ring of light began to spin faster and faster. The air inside the ring started to shimmer like water. Then something amazing happened. The space inside the ring began to glow with soft, warm light. Clean energy poured out of it like water from a spring. The alien observers cheered. They had just witnessed the end of energy scarcity for the entire galaxy. But then something went wrong. The pocket of changed space began to grow. It started as a circle just big enough for a person to walk through. But it kept expanding. The edges of the changed space moved outward like ripples in a pond. "Turn it off!" shouted the crystal being. "We're trying!" Park Jin yelled back. He and Kim Sola were working frantically at their controls, but the machine wouldn't respond. The changed space continued to grow. As it expanded, everything it touched began to work by new rules. Gravity flowed upward instead of down. Light moved in spirals instead of straight lines. Matter became energy, and energy became something else entirely. "It's rewriting local reality," someone screamed. Kim Sola was working desperately at a computer terminal. "I can fix this," she said. "I just need to convince the space to stop expanding." "Convince it?" the sea creature alien asked. "The space is learning," Kim Sola explained, sweat pouring down her face. "We taught it new rules, and now it's applying those rules to everything around it. It thinks it's helping." The changed space was now hundreds of meters across and still growing. Buildings inside it began to float and reshape themselves. People caught inside were not hurt, but they found themselves able to fly and walk through walls. "This is incredible," said one human scientist who had been caught in the expanding field. "I feel like I could reach out and touch the stars." "That's exactly the problem," Park Jin said grimly. "If this field reaches the spaceports, human thoughts might accidentally affect ships traveling between the stars. We could change the laws of physics for the entire galaxy." The recording showed chaos as scientists and officials tried to figure out how to stop the expansion. The changed space was now several kilometers across. Weather patterns inside it were completely different. It rained upward, and clouds formed underground. "We have to evacuate the city," Park Jin announced. "If this field continues to expand, it will eventually cover the entire planet. And if it reaches space, it could rewrite reality for billions of star systems," Kim Sola finished. Her confident smile was gone, replaced by terror. The evacuation was unlike anything ever seen. Millions of people fled Seoul as the pocket of changed reality continued to grow. Ships from across the galaxy came to help, but they had to be careful not to get too close to the expanding field. The recording jumped forward in time. Now it showed Kim Sola and Park Jin working alone in the abandoned laboratory. The changed space around them had grown so large that they could barely see the edges. "I have an idea," Kim Sola said, "but it's dangerous." "More dangerous than letting this expand forever?" Park Jin asked. "Maybe." Kim Sola was building something new, working, with tools that seemed to bend and flow in her hands. "I'm going to go into the center of the field and ask it nicely to collapse." "Ask it nicely?" "The field is following human intentions," she explained. "It expanded because we wanted it to work. Maybe it will collapse if we want it to stop." "Park." Jin grabbed her arm. "Sola, if you're wrong, you could make it worse. You could accidentally convince it to expand faster." Kim Sola smiled sadly. "Then I'll have to be very careful about what I think." The recording showed her walking toward the center of the changed space. As she moved deeper into the field, her appearance began to change. She became translucent, as if she was becoming part of the energy around her. At the very center, she sat down and closed her eyes. For long minutes, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the edges of the field began to move inward. "It's working," Park Jin breathed. The field collapsed faster and faster, shrinking back toward the center where Kim Sola sat. But as it collapsed, it took her with it. The last image showed her smiling as she and the changed space vanished in a flash of light. Seoul was saved. The galaxy was saved. But Kim Sola was gone, and with her went humanity's chance to remain part of the galactic community. The GIS recording ended. Kang Woo and Park Hana sat in silence for a long time. "She saved everyone," Kang Woo finally said. "Yes," Park Hana agreed. "But the damage was done. The galaxy had seen what humans could do by accident. They had seen us nearly rewrite reality itself just by trying to solve an energy problem. So they banned us. They quarantined Earth and erased most records of human civilization. They were terrified that if humans continued to develop, we might accidentally unmake the universe. Kang Wu stood up and paced around the crystal chamber. But that was 5,000 years ago. Surely we've learned to be more careful. Park Hana looked at him with sad eyes. Have we? Kang Wu, how did you get here? What do you mean? How did your ship travel faster than light to reach this station? Kang Wu thought about it. The quantum drive system. Our scientists figured out how to fold space by treating distance as a variable rather than a constant. Park Hana nodded grimly. And how do your computers work so much faster than they should? Quantum processing. We convinced electrons to be in multiple states at the same time. And your new fusion reactors? We asked the atoms to share energy more efficiently. Kang Wu stopped pacing. A cold feeling was growing in his stomach. We're still doing it, he whispered. We're still treating the laws of physics like suggestions. Every major breakthrough in human science for the past century has involved making impossible things possible, Park Hana said. The galaxy has been watching. They know that humans haven't changed. We're still the species that nearly rewrote reality because we wanted to solve a simple energy problem. Kang Wu sank to the floor again. Then there really is no hope. They'll never let us join the galaxy. Maybe not, Park Hana said. But there might be another way. She activated one more crystal. This one showed recent surveillance footage of Earth. The question isn't whether humans are still dangerous, she said. The question is what we're going to do about it. The alarm started ringing as soon as they returned to the upper levels. Red lights flashed in the hallways, and alien voices announced emergency codes that Kang Wu didn't understand. Park Hana grabbed his arm and pulled him toward a side corridor. What's happening? He asked. They know we were in the archives, she said. The crystals keep records of who accesses them. We have maybe 10 minutes before security finds us. But they didn't have 10 minutes. As they rounded a corner, they found themselves face to face with 3 council guards. These were not the polite escorts who had watched Kang Wu's room. These guards carried weapons that hummed with dangerous energy. Dr. Park Hana and Ambassador Kang Wu, one of the guards said in perfect human speech. You will come with us, immediately. They were marched through the corridors to a part of the building Kang Wu had never seen. The walls here were made of the same black stone as the empty human chair. They passed through several security checkpoints before arriving at a small room with no windows. Inside the room, a single figure waited for them. He was human, but older than anyone Kang Wu had ever seen. His hair was completely white, and his eyes held the weight of many years. He wore the uniform of a council security chief. Sit down, the old man said. His voice was tired but kind. Kang Wu and Park Hana sat in the chairs across from him. The guards left them alone and closed the door. My name is Yoon Dae, the old man said. I have been the chief of council security for 40 years. I have also been watching over humanity for longer than either of you have been alive. You're human, Kang Wu said. Half human, Yoon Dae corrected. My mother was human. My father was Altarian. I am what the council calls a hybrid asset, useful for understanding both sides of a problem. Park Hana leaned forward. How long? Have you known about our trip to the archives? Yoon Dae smiled. I have known about every unauthorized access to the restricted archives for the past 15 years. Dr. Park, you are not as good at hiding your activities as you think you are. Then why didn't you stop us? Kang Wu asked. Because someone needed to tell you the truth, Yoon Dae said. The council was never going to explain why that chair remains empty. They were hoping you would give up and go home. He stood up and walked to a wall panel. With a touch, the panel became transparent, showing a view of space beyond the station. Earth was visible in the distance, a small blue dot among the stars. Your homeworld is beautiful, Yoon Dae said. It is also the most dangerous place in the galaxy. Because of what happened 5,000 years ago? Kang Wu asked. Because of what is happening right now. Yunde touched another control, and the wall showed new images. These were recent pictures of Earth. Laboratories, space stations, research facilities. Human science has not slowed down since the quarantine, Yunde explained. If anything, being alone has made you more creative. Look at these quantum experiments your scientists are running. The images showed machines that looked impossible, devices that seemed to exist in several dimensions at once, computers that were somehow bigger on the inside than on the outside. Last month, a laboratory in Tokyo created a stable wormhole that lasted for 3 seconds, Yunde said. The scientists thought it was a failure because they were hoping it would last longer. They have no idea that creating any stable wormhole should be impossible. Park Hana studied the images. How are they doing this? The same way humans have always done impossible things, Yunde replied. They refuse to accept that something can't be done. They keep trying different approaches until reality gives up and lets them succeed. More images appeared. A space station that was generating more energy than it consumed. A research ship that was somehow traveling faster than its own engines should allow. A moon base where the gravity was flowing in directions that made no sense. Every human breakthrough in the past century has bent or broken at least one law of physics, Yunde said. Your scientists think they are just being clever. They don't realize they are unconsciously rewriting the rules of the universe. Kang Wu felt dizzy. Are you saying that humans are accidentally using the same power that caused the Seoul incident? Not accidentally, Yunde said quietly. Naturally, the ability to make impossible things possible is not something humans learned. It is something humans are. He showed them more footage. This time it was surveillance video from inside human research facilities. The scientists worked normally most of the time. But occasionally, when they were stuck on a particularly difficult problem, something strange would happen. A researcher would stare at an equation on a blackboard, and the numbers would begin to glow faintly. An engineer would concentrate on a broken machine, and the machine would start working again, even though nothing had been fixed. A physicist would think very hard about a theory, and instruments would start detecting particles that shouldn't exist. They don't even notice when it happens, Yunde said. It's as natural to them as breathing. When reality doesn't match what they need, they unconsciously adjust reality to fit. But that's impossible, Kang Wu protested. Is it? Yunde asked. How did humanity go from primitive steam engines to faster-than-light travel in just 300 years? How did you solve problems that alien civilizations worked on for millions of years? How did you build machines that work better than their design should allow? Kang Wu had no answer. He had always been proud of human ingenuity, but he had never questioned how humans seem to solve impossible problems so easily. The Council has been monitoring Earth very carefully, Yunde continued. Your quantum experiments are creating small tears in space-time. Each breakthrough makes the tears a little bigger. We estimate that within 50 years, human science will accidentally create another Seoul incident. Except this time, Park Hana said, understanding dawning in her voice. There won't be anyone like Kim Sola to stop it. Exactly. Modern humans don't even know they have this ability. If something goes wrong, they won't know how to fix it. Yunde sat back down across from them. 3 days ago, the Council was debating whether to quarantine Earth more strictly. Some members wanted to build a force field around your entire solar system. Others suggested more extreme measures. What kind of extreme measures? Kang Wu didn't want to know, but he had to ask. The kind that would ensure humans never again pose a threat to galactic stability. Yunde's words hung in the air like a death sentence. They want to destroy Earth, Park Hana whispered. Some of them do. They believe it would be a mercy. Better to end humanity quickly than to risk another reality-altering incident that could unmake the entire galaxy. Kang Wu stood up angrily. You can't judge an entire species based on accidents. Humans aren't evil. We don't want to hurt anyone. I know, Yunde said gently. But intent doesn't matter when the consequences are universal destruction. A child with a nuclear weapon is still dangerous, even if the child means no harm. Then what do you suggest? Park Hana asked. How do we solve this? Yunde was quiet for a long moment. There might be a way, but it would require humans to accept a truth about themselves that they have never wanted to face. What truth? That you are not just another species trying to survive in the universe. You are a force of nature. You are evolution's answer to the question of what happens when consciousness becomes powerful enough to reshape reality itself. He activated the wall panel again. This time it showed the council chamber with its circle of 47 chairs. The empty chair was not meant to exclude humans from the galaxy, Yunde said. It was meant to reserve a place for them when they were ready to accept the responsibility that comes with their power. What responsibility? Kang Wu asked. The responsibility of being the guardians of reality itself. Before either of them could respond, alarms began ringing again. This time they were louder and more urgent than before. Yunde checked a communication device on his wrist. His face went pale. What is it? Park Hana asked. Emergency session of the full council, he said. A human research station near Jupiter just created a quantum field that is expanding beyond their ability to control. Kang Wu felt his heart stop. Another soul incident? Potentially worse. This time the field is expanding in space instead of on a planet. If it reaches the shipping lanes between Earth and Mars, it could affect interstellar travel throughout this entire region of the galaxy. Yunde stood up quickly. The council will vote within the hour. Either humanity finds a way to prove they can control their abilities, or the galaxy will take steps to ensure another incident never happens. What kind of steps? Kang Wu asked, though he was afraid he already knew. The permanent kind, Yunde said grimly. Come with me. If there is any hope of saving your species, it lies in that council chamber. As they hurried toward the door, Kang Wu looked back at the wall panel still showing Earth, his beautiful, dangerous, impossible home world. The planet that had produced a species capable of rewriting reality itself. He wondered if he would ever see it again. The council chamber was chaos when they arrived. All 46 alien representatives were speaking at once, their voices mixing into a storm of clicks, buzzes, and roars. Holographic displays showed the expanding quantum field near Jupiter, growing, larger with each passing minute. Kang Wu stood in the center of the circle, looking up at the faces around him. Fear, anger, desperation. These beings were facing the possibility that one species might accidentally destroy everything they had. Built over millions of years, the giant bug creature that led the council called for silence. The situation is clear, it announced. Human experiments have created another expanding reality field. This time, it threatens interstellar shipping routes used by dozens of species. How long until it reaches the shipping lanes? Asked the blue alien with 8 arms. 6 hours, replied the crystal being. After that, any ship passing through the affected area will be subject to altered physics. The results could be catastrophic. The tree-like alien rustled its leaves nervously. We cannot allow another soul incident. The risk is too great. Then we are agreed, the bug leader said. Emergency Protocol 7 will be activated. The human solar system will be sterilized to prevent further contamination. Wait! Kang Wu shouted. You can't destroy an entire species because of one accident. It is not one accident, the gray alien with big eyes said sadly. It is a pattern. Humans cannot help but change reality around them. It is what they are. Yunde stepped forward. Honorable Council, I request permission to present an alternative solution. The bug leader's mandibles clicked impatiently. What alternative could possibly justify the risk? Integration instead of elimination, Yunde said. Instead of fearing human abilities, we should learn to work with them. The chamber erupted in angry voices again. The sea creature alien made sounds of distress. Impossible! Humans cannot control their power. They don't even know they have it. Then we teach them, Park Hana said, stepping up beside Kang Wu. We help them understand what they are and how to use their abilities safely. And why would we take such a risk? The crystal being chimed. Kang Wu looked around the chamber at all the frightened faces. Then he thought about something Yun Day had said. Humans were evolution's answer to a question. But what was the question? Because you need us, he said quietly. The chamber fell silent. All eyes turned to him. You need us, he repeated, louder this time. The galaxy has been stable for millions of years, safe, predictable, but also stuck. When was the last time any of your civilizations made a major breakthrough? When did any of you solve a problem that seemed impossible? The aliens looked at each other uncomfortably. Humans don't just break the laws of physics, Kang Wu continued. We find new possibilities. We discover things that were always there but hidden. Maybe the universe isn't as fixed as you think. Maybe it's been waiting for someone to ask it better questions. Pretty words, the bug leader buzzed. But words will not stop the expanding field near Jupiter. Then let me stop it, Park Hana said. Every alien in the chamber turned to stare at her. I've studied the Sol incident records, she explained. I understand how Kim Sola collapsed the field. I can do the same thing. Absolutely not, the tree alien rustled. You could make it worse. You could expand it instead of collapsing it. Or, I could solve your immediate problem and prove that humans can learn to control their abilities, Park Hana replied. Yunde activated a holographic display showing the Jupiter field in real time. It was now twice the size it had been an hour ago and still growing. The field will reach the shipping lanes in 5 hours, he reported. If Dr. Park fails, we will still have time to implement Protocol 7. And if she succeeds? Kang Wu asked. The bug leader was quiet for a long moment. If she succeeds, the Council will consider a new relationship with humanity. What kind of relationship? Park Hana asked. It was the gray alien who answered. You would become what you have always been, but with full knowledge of your nature. Reality engineers, guardians of the impossible, but with oversight and safeguards to prevent accidents. And the empty chair? Kang Wu looked at the black stone seat that had waited for 3,000 years. Would finally be filled, Yunde said, but not as members of the Council, as something more important, as the bridge between what is and what could be. Park Hana was already working at a portable computer, studying the real-time data from the Jupiter field. I need a ship, she said, and I need someone who understands quantum physics to help me calculate the approach vector. I'll go with you, Kang Wu said. This is madness, the crystal being chimed. You could destroy half the solar system. Or, we could save it, Park Hana replied, and prove that humans deserve a place among the stars. The vote was close, 24 in favor of letting them try, 22 against. But it was enough. 2 hours later, Kang Wu and Park Hana were aboard, a Council science vessel approaching the expanding quantum field. Through the view screen, they could see the edge of the distortion. Space itself looked wrong there, bent and twisted like a funhouse mirror. How are you going to do this? Kang Wu asked. Park Hana was making final adjustments to a device she had built using parts from the ship's quantum laboratory. It looked like a metal headband covered in blinking lights. The same way Kim Sola did it, she said. I'm going to have a conversation with the field and ask it politely to stop expanding. Is it really that simple? Simple? No. The field is following human intentions, but those intentions are unconscious. The researchers who created it wanted to solve a problem, so the field is trying to help by providing unlimited energy. I have to convince it that the best way to help is to contain itself. She put on the device and closed her eyes. The lights on the headband began to pulse in rhythm with her heartbeat. "Beginning interface," she said softly. On the screens around them, they could watch the quantum field in real time. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the expansion began to slow down. "It's working," Kang Wu breathed. But then something unexpected happened. Instead of simply collapsing, the field began to change. The chaotic energy patterns organized themselves into geometric shapes. The twisted space smoothed out but remained fundamentally different from normal space-time. "Hana, what are you doing?" Kang Wu asked. "I'm not just asking it to stop," she said, her eyes still closed. "I'm asking it to become something useful, something safe." The field continued to transform. When it was finished, it had become a stable pocket of space where the laws of physics operated more efficiently. Energy flowed more freely there. Matter was more responsive to conscious intent. It was like a workshop where impossible things could be built safely. Park Hana opened her eyes and removed the device. "It's done," she said. "The communication system activated." Yunde's voice came through from the council station. "Dr. Park, the field has stopped expanding, but it hasn't collapsed. What have you created?" "A controlled environment for reality engineering," she replied. "A place where humans can safely experiment with altering physics without risk to the rest of the galaxy." "And it will remain stable?" "As long as someone maintains the conscious intent that created it. The field responds to human will. It will be whatever we need it to be." When they returned to the council station, they found the chamber in a very different mood. The aliens were no longer afraid. They were curious. "You have proven your point," the bug leader admitted. "Humans can indeed learn to control their abilities." "This is just the beginning," Kang Wu said. "Humanity is ready to take responsibility for what we are. But we'll need guidance. We'll need partners who can help us understand the full consequences of our actions." The gray alien spoke for the council. "Then let us forge a new covenant. Humanity will become the reality engineers of the galaxy. You will help solve problems that have seemed impossible for millions of years, but you will work with oversight, with safeguards, and with the wisdom of species who have learned to be cautious." Yunde stepped forward. "And the empty chair?" "Will be filled," the crystal being chimed, "but not as it was intended. The human representative will not be just another voice in the council. They will be the guardian of possibility itself." 6 months later, Kang Wu sat in the black stone chair that had been empty for 3,000 years. But he was not alone. Around him sat representatives of 17 other species that had been discovered in quarantine. Beings with the power to manipulate time, to speak with quantum particles, to transform matter with their thoughts. The galaxy, it turned out, was full of impossible beings. They had all been hidden away, feared, and isolated because their abilities were too dangerous to acknowledge. Now they worked together, guided by species with the wisdom to help them use their powers safely. The empty chairs were filling one by one, as the galaxy learned that the solution to dangerous power was not elimination, but education. Park Hana had become the first director of reality engineering, overseeing safe zones throughout the galaxy, where impossible experiments could be conducted without risk. The quantum field near Jupiter had become the prototype for dozens of similar research areas. "The universe is much stranger and more wonderful than we ever imagined,"